Alafia, my Nubian Naturals. Hey YouTube! This is my very first video I'm recording for YouTube. I've actually been on here and done webinars and workshops, but this is actually my first YouTube video that I'm recording for YouTube, so I'm so excited. It's been a long time coming, but here we are. So let me first start by introducing myself. My name is Ito Han, also known as Natural Stylist, and I help to elevate Black cultural identity through the lens of beauty by conducting workshops, holding seminars, and teaching us how to care for our hair, thereby redefining the idea of beauty. I am the CEO and lead stylist of Nubian Natural Hair Gallery, and I have been a natural hairstylist for over 18 years. It is my goal to teach guys how to care for our hair so that we learn to love ourselves unconditionally, learn to love ourselves as being unapologetically African in our true African essence, with our kinky hair, our lips, our hips, our butts, our skin tones, and really shatter this myth or this idea that we've been taught that we are not good enough, because we are good enough. But the only people that is going to help us shift this conception and that myth is us. Nobody else is going to come save us. Nobody else is going to redefine our beauty for us. We have to be the ones to pick up the batons and actually start changing it one day at a time. And as a hairstylist, hopefully, as a natural hairstylist, hopefully we are doing that every day in our salon by changing that myth one style at a time. One of the ways that it shows up in terms of what our identity crisis is, because that's what we're dealing with in this country, is truly globally, Black people globally right now, or our idea of beauty, even on the continent of Africa, our idea of beauty, it's not us. It's not our natural aesthetics, right? We are actually using European standards to define what idea of beauty is. And as long as you use somebody else's rubric and metric to define yourself, you would never measure up. You would never be enough. One of the ways that shows up is it's our hair. It's our hair. We have this relationship with our hair that is so unhealthy. And as a natural hairstylist, and been in the salon for almost 2 decades now, I see this reoccurring theme over and over again, and it is that we're just not happy with our hair. We don't like our hair. We don't like the way it looks. We don't like the way it feels. And part of that is that we don't like our hair the way it is. The kinkiness in our hair, the kink in our hair, our tight, coiled texture, we don't like that. And that's problematic. That's problematic because that is part of what truly makes us uniquely African, right? It's the texture of our hair. Here, my goal is through this channel that we just explore and learn about what it is about our hair that we don't like, why we don't like it, and how we've been programmed not to like it. And I'm going to give you solutions. I'm going to help you to love your hair. We're going to do product reviews. I'm also going to talk to you about healthy hair regimen and how to really grow your natural hair, right? So check this out. One of the reasons that, like I said, that we don't like our hair is that we think that our natural hair is difficult to manage. We think it's difficult. It's so difficult. I can't do anything with it. I don't know what to do. We've never really been taught how to take care of our hair. Think about that. We've never really been taught how to take care of our hair as Black women, right? When you were a child, your mother took care of your hair, or your grandmother took care of your hair, and then as soon as she could do hair, as soon as you were old enough, she probably started pressing your hair, or you had your hair in twists or braids most of your life, right? Most of us never really got to wear our hair out as children, and so we never really got those skills passed on by how to take care of our hair. And that's because our mothers did not learn those skills about how to take care of our hair from her mother, right? Remember the straightening comb, remember the relaxer and all of those things. And she probably got her first relaxer when she was a child. So it's just those things that have not been passed on. We haven't passed on those skills necessary to take care of our hair. because we've always, for lack of a better word, had one kind of protective style or the other. You know, braids and cornrows and things like that. Those are protective styles. We just didn't call it protective styles back then, but that's exactly what they are. They're protective styles, right? So we never learned how to take care of our hair. We never learned about tools, about products and things like that. And then as soon as we were old enough, we got a relaxer or we got our hair straightened, and then there you go. Right. Bear with me. I'm trying to make sure I cover all my points so I give you guys all of the nuggets as much as possible. Another reason that we don't so frustrated with our hair and we think it's so difficult to take care of is because we want our hair to do what it's not going to do, what it's not meant to do, what it's not going to do. And part of that is that, you know, what I said earlier on is we don't like our kinky texture. We don't like our kinky texture. We wish we spent all of this time wishing that our hair was somebody else's texture. We wish that it was looser curled, it was straighter, it was not as, you know, kinky, and that it was, you know, type 3C or type 3A. And that type of hair, that loose curl type of hair, has somehow become what we want to aspire to with our hair. But that is not our hair texture. Most of us have, you know, tightly coiled hair texture, and the sooner we get used to that and start loving it, I think the sooner we'll get to start loving our hair, right? There's so much that your own hair, that your tightly coiled hair can do. And once you stop wishing that your hair is something else and start accepting it for what it is, which is a tight coil, then everything, and that's half the battle right there, right? Because then you start focusing on styles and products and tools that are made specifically for that hair texture. And then you can start really kind of like building your style repertoire, building your, you know, kind of like building up your skill set in taking care of your hair. Natural hair is not hard to take care of, guys. You just have to learn how to take care of it. You just have to learn that, you know, all of the products that you use need to have moisturizing ingredients in them. You have to learn that your shampoo, your conditioner, your leave-in conditioner, those have to be filled with hydrating, moisturizing ingredients, because our hair needs moisture. The more moisture, the better. And why does our hair need so much moisture? Because of the shape of our strands, because of the type C that it is. And so oil does not readily transfer from our scalp to our hair strands. Therefore, tightly coiled hair is drier. But once you figure that out, once you realize that, then you can start buying products that are made specifically for that type of hair. And that's the other half of the battle. Once you start buying products for your tightly coiled hair, then you're going to see that, oh, okay, it's actually staying moisturized longer, right? And this is actually working for my hair, and this is helping to detangle my hair. And then you start, like, you know, acquiring the tools, like the wide tooth comb and the detangling combs and things like that, right? And so you start building up your skill set. You start building up your skill set, because remember, we weren't taught that skill set as children, as teenagers. So now we have to learn the skill set. It's like anything else. If you want to learn how to swim, most black people don't know how to swim. You know, if you want to learn how to swim, you take swimming lessons. If you want to know how to take care of your hair, you get lessons from a professional, right? If you want to know how to cook, some women don't know how to cook, some of us don't know how to cook. If you buy cookbooks from experts, from professionals, not from lay people on YouTube that are actually experimenting on their own. No. From professionals, from people that actually get paid to do this, from people that have years and years of experience in doing this. And that's how you build it. You build your repertoire, right? You build your layering, and you actually add in layers upon layers of skill set until you then to become an expert at taking care of your hair. Think about it. If we didn't know how to take care of our skin, if you don't take care of your skin, it's going to look lackluster. It's gonna be dry. It's gonna shed. It's gonna be flaky, right? The same thing goes with our hair. We have to learn how to take care of it, right? The last but most important reasons why we think natural hair is so difficult is because, guys, we are dealing we are suffering from an identity crisis as Black people all over the globe. We have an identity crisis. And the way it shows up is that we have issues with who we are as Black people, how we look naturally. We want to be validated by the same people that oppressed us. But your oppressor would never validate you. Your oppressor would never let you tell you that you are good enough. So that has to come from us actually doing our affirmations and just saying it until we start believing that we are good enough. We have to stop. We have to understand that we do have an identity crisis going on, with us. That it is an identity crisis, and that there's a lack of self-worth that we have as Black people, as African people. We have to understand that, and that manifests itself in the way we talk about ourselves, in the way we look at who we are naturally, in the way we deal with our hair. We have to understand that is what is going on. We have to understand that when we feel like our hair is not beautiful, it's not nice, and we want to do things to it, we want to straighten it, we want to cover it, we want to put relaxer in it, we want to bleach our skin, it's the same thing. That's an identity crisis. That's a form of mental illness. We have to realize that. We have to come to terms with it. We have to understand the ways in which that shows up in our life so we can actually heal from it. Right? Like an alcoholic. If you do not accept the fact that you're an alcoholic, you cannot heal from that disease. We have to understand that we are suffering from an identity crisis. And it shows up in us not really accepting ourselves the way we are. It shows up in us seeking validation from others. It shows up in us wanting to actually judge ourselves by others' standard of beauty. And the standard of beauty that we use is the standard of beauty of our oppressors, of white people. But we have to understand, as Black people, we are the most phenotypically different from the European. So if we continuously use their rubric to measure our self-identity, we're never going to measure up. We're never going to measure up. So what is the solution? The solution is that we start telling ourselves every day that we are beautiful. I'm beautiful. I love my kinky hair. I'm beautiful. I love my kinky hair. Touch your hair. Feel your hair. Learn how to take care of your hair. Get the products that you need to actually get the styles that are going to work for your hair. Every style is not going to work for your hair texture, your hair density. That. And start building up your skill set and start building up, that repertoire. And hopefully subscribe to this YouTube channel because I'm going to be bringing you guys so much information, and just because it is my goal that we are going to love ourselves, because we're going to understand the root cause of why we don't, the root cause of why we have an identity crisis, the root cause of why we don't love our hair, why we don't love ourselves the way we are, and actually start reversing that until we get to our rightful place and we find our rightful minds. For over 18 years, I helped to elevate Black cultural identity through the lens of beauty by conducting workshops, holding seminars, and teaching us how to care for our hair. And it is my goal that you fall in love with yourself and that you love yourself unapologetically.